Meeting to order. It's the regular city council meeting for September 23rd, 2025. Can I have roll call, please?
Scott. Here. Mallory.
Here.
Randall.
Here.
Farley is absent. Edwin.
Here.
Mark.
Here.
Arms.
Here. Okay, please stand and join me. Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I will open public comments for agenda items only. If you have a comment on an agenda item, please stand, state your name, and you have 3 minutes. Okay. Okay, I will close this portion of public comments and move on to approval of agenda and receive and file all communications.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda and receive and file all communications.
I'll second that. Okay, a motion by Councilman Dodd, second by Councilman Martin to approve the agenda, receive and file all communications. Does anyone have anything to add to that? Comments? Okay, favor? Aye. Against? Motion passed. Number 6, approval of primary minutes from September 9th, 2025.
I'll make a motion to approve the prior meeting minutes from the September 9th, 2025 for the city council meeting.
Very good. I'll second that. Okay, I have a motion by Councilman Martin, second by Councilman Brando to approve the regular city council meeting minutes of September 9th, 2025 as presented. Does anyone have anything to add to that? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passed. We have a public hearing. I will go ahead and open this public hearing. This is an ordinance to add Chapter 101, fireworks, to Title 9, General Regulations of the City Code to regulate the ignition, discharge, and use of fireworks within the city. So if you have anything that you'd like to say about that, go ahead and stand, state your name. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand up.
Yeah.
So, look, okay, previous to your, let's say, yesterday, the day before, we had an ordinance. I know I asked some questions and it's forbidden here, I think, maybe, I don't know.
It's not supposed to be a question and answer, just because it's very, very long.
Well, I can see we have a lot of people here, and it could get very long.
If you have questions, you can ask and try and answer them.
All right.
Public.
Oh,
Yeah.
lighting off the noise ordinance, 10 o'clock. Before that, never seemed to be an issue. Until there was a bunch of hoopla and, social media. I'm not good at conveying, I'm not good under pressure. But, and sorry for that. I wish I could be more eloquent, but I'm wondering why the presence of police officers would be at my house when they shouldn't have been during, let's say, the 4th of July, 4 days in a row. MCL states I can't do that, but MCL states that local government can't do anything when they say that, when MCL says you can do this or that. But yet that happened a lot. And it was said that I'd have to get the freedom of information of that, but a body cam would state, I don't care what MCL states. And then therefore I still had people, or the police officers, come over. Very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. So I'm getting nervous now. I like to light fireworks off. I was doing it within the right because we have no ordinance. I was shutting up before 10 o'clock. I have a 3-year-old daughter. I was being compliant. Other people state otherwise. A lot of things have happened since then. People that sound out Cheboygan, I'll open it right up. She solicited my scooter it was stolen because she was mad at me, the administrator, because she was mad at the lighting fireworks off when it was legal. So if I'm upsetting people and people, I apologize, you know, but it was within my rights as I understood that, and that's it, you know, and if you guys are gonna put a kibosh to it, that's fine. I'll abide by it. But previous to now, have been cited. Other people have been cited, have done jail time when it was within the law. So things need to be taken care of. I'm done.
Could you state your name for the record?
Joshua Tum.
Yeah, thank you. Any other comments on this?
Yeah, I have a couple questions. John, I sell fireworks inside of the city of Cheboygan. I did it one time. Currently, we're in Inverness Township. And I guess not to ask questions, but in what I read online, it said this wouldn't take effect for 20 days. But I don't see that on this paper now unless it has changed. The whole stated on the city's website was when the first was this is amended that it would take effect 20 days from today. Here it now says effective date October 13th. My no problem. And so consumer fireworks, the state of Michigan says snap pop is a consumer firework. Yes, it is low impact, but it is considered a consumer firework. Sparklers, fountains, any of these things. And in here, I don't see a designation between the two of whether someone will now a kid cannot buy snap pops from me and use them 2 weeks before. The state of Michigan Bureau of Fire Services, I'm obligated under my license to notify all my customers of such dates that, you know, as stated here, and MCL dates they can't, but also the fire marshal and the Bureau of Fire Services has told me that I should tell my customers if there isn't a ordinance, which when I call the municipality here, Inverness Township, downtown, these different ones, to see what ordinance there are. There wasn't an ordinance in here, and so I guess I'm just looking for more clarification as to what to notify my customers in the future. I think just as many phone calls as you guys have gotten about what ordinances you have for the issues that arose through fireworks. As a vendor who has sold a lot of fireworks in this place, I've gotten just as many calls asking why I said this. Why did I say there's no ordinance in Cheboygan, and why did I say that you're allowed to do this when then one couldn't do that? When the fire marshal told me, call the municipality, if they say there's no ordinance against fireworks, this is what you tell them. And so that's what the Bureau of Fire Services is telling me. I'm looking for clarification on one, is low impact also in this act that is trying to be imposed or proposed this evening. I mean, you guys can answer, but those are my questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, the current ordinance follows Act 634. So it's state law.
That's state law.
Yes. And then under section 8, under the ordinance, it does say it takes effect 20 days right there.
And that's standard for ordinances?
Yes. So on the second page of the ordinance, it says this ordinance shall take effect 20 days after passage by law. Date of publication was the 12th. The adoption by council will be today, September 23rd, if you choose to do so. And it says date of ordinance shall take effect will be October 13th. It's clearly spelled out in there.
And it's the Michigan Fireworks Safety Act, MCL 28.452, subsection 4, where it defines consumer fireworks, says at the end, consumer fireworks does not include low impact fireworks.
And I want to go ahead and continue. Are there any other public comments on this?
So
Just real quick, because
okay, low impact fireworks are things that don't leave the ground. So some fountains are as loud, if not louder, than the big ones that go up in the air. And so I said, no, this isn't going to get, as far as noise goes, one can buy a low impact fountain that is very audible. What is defined as a firework is something that has to make an audible noise, also a visual effect. If it only makes an audible noise, it's an explosive, and that is dealt with the ATF. If it only makes a show and no noise, then that's an article of pyrotechnic. That's an act firework. So it's still low impact or very noisy.
Understood. Yeah. Thank you.
Joshua,
Yeah, just real quick again, just
real quick,
because I don't know how much time you
a
have.
lot of stuff going on. I understand. Sorry about that. So, man, how do I close it to where I'm not asking a question? So, previous to the 13th of October, is everything null and void? Can we just, that's a simple answer.
And yeah, I hear your question. We'll try and answer that as soon as we're done here.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
Anyone else? Okay, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and close the public hearing right now. And we will move on to 8A, consideration of an ordinance to add chapter 101 firework to title 9. General regulations of the city code to regulate the ignition, discharge, and use of fireworks within the city. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to add chapter 101 fireworks to title 9 general regulations of the city code to regulate the ignition, discharge, and use of fireworks within the city.
Second.
Okay, motion by Councilman Dodd, second by Councilman Bedwin, as stated. All right, does anyone want to start discussions?
Well, to answer this question, anything that occurs before October 13th is not subject to this ordinance. We can't pass laws and then apply them. It's after the fact.
It would be subject to state law.
State law, you can be cited under state law.
Does not, since this didn't exist, it wouldn't be subject to our ordinance, but it would still be subject to state law.
Correct.
So I have a question though. So what is the difference of the state law versus what we're trying to implement?
Part of it is it allows us to cite them locally, and then it stays in our court and funds come to us. If we cite them under the other, state law, then a good percentage of those funds disappear to other sources.
Okay. Yes. So there was already an ordinance of sorts in place, the missile
Correct.
actions.
Correct.
Okay. Since what, 2018 it says?
Yeah. Yes. 2018.
Okay.
What was that ordinance? Are we allowed to? I'm sorry.
State law.
It's state law.
State law, yeah.
Is that the same state law that when police officers come in and try to enforce or
That's something we have to talk to the police about. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get into a question and answer again.
That's right.
But there is a state law. Yeah. Okay. Does any other council have comments on this?
So this really just goes, other than the money will stay here, the same as Michigan.
It mirrors exactly the date, the dates, times, everything else is exactly in Michigan law.
Okay, gotcha.
So if somebody's letting off fireworks before the October date, the cops can still go there and cite them under state law.
Correct. And they can get them for disturbing the peace also.
Okay.
What entails observing the peace?
I'm sorry, again.
Well, you're not allowed to tell me that. Sorry.
No. Question answered.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry.
How long is that 634? Do you know? I guess my question is, would it make sense to just slap that into ordinance?
No, it wouldn't, because the current city ordinance says that no fireworks will be lit off except allowed by state law. And that was written at a time 30, 40 years ago, when the state had much more restrictive fireworks law. And then they expanded it 10 or 15 years ago, where, you remember how we all used to have to go to Indiana to get fireworks, and now you don't? So our city ordinance didn't account for that. Now we have fireworks being lit off. And what the current state law says is that municipality cannot limit it on such and such dates. We had no limits. So this new ordinance just says, like the old ordinance did, no fireworks being lit off except for the days specified by state law that we can't limit.
Okay, so,
I'll be clearer than the mayor. We're outside of public comment. We're not doing question and answer sessions.
Or not.
But at the end of the meeting, you're welcome to 3 minutes for anything, right?
Thank you.
There's no
Thank you
public
very-
comment session at the end, and anything you have to say, you can say in the 3 minutes then, yeah.
Thank you very much.
So you're saying that, not everything in 634 is gonna apply to what we're saying, so.
Because it'll change, like it's as in the past.
Yeah.
If they change
I
it,
see, okay.
then we have to come back and change the order.
And the state law doesn't, it guarantees certain days they can be lit off. What we're saying is no fireworks except on these days.
Okay, so then if 634 changed the definition of the fireworks, then we would have to do this anyways. Couldn't we just take whatever 634 says right now and plop it in there? I guess it's state law, so we have to abide by that.
If you
anyways.
look, we refer to that, so if the state goes over here and changes 634.
Right.
Ours is still up to date,
Right.
whether they loosen it up, tighten it up, doesn't matter, because ours follows this. Ours is saying, hey, we're going with
I
this.
understand. Yeah, I got it. That's totally got the balance.
We could post this online and post a link to 634 there, so if somebody's curious, they can click and they can go to it.
It just took me a minute to wrap my brain around it. It's like, Okay. Any other comments? Okay, roll call please.
Doug? Yes. Ormsby?
Yes.
Bedwin?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Mallory?
Yes.
Randolph?
Yes.
Okay, motion passed. We have 8B, consideration of resolution 2025-23 to approve resolution 2020, a resolution to establish penalties for violations of chapter 101 fireworks.
I'll make a motion to the consideration of resolution 23, motion for penalties. Violation of chapter 101 penalties.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilman Martin, second by Councilman Bedwin, as stated. Does anyone want to comment on that?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's obviously already Michigan law has penalties, right? Are we gonna mirror that as well?
I think it's a pretty aggressive approach where, and usually, involving the police officers, they're usually good enough to go somewhere and say, okay, knock it off. Then they don't, then if they gotta come back again, that's when they usually cite.
Okay.
And then if they come back again that same night, they can give them another ticket, that next ticket goes up in price. So, there's some people say, oh, I got my ticket for the night, I'm just gonna keep blowing them off. Well, it ain't happening. No, they'll end up with a stack of tickets, so.
Else? Okay. A roll call please.
Ormsby?
Yeah.
Martin?
Yes.
Bedwin?
Yes.
Randolph?
Yes.
Mallory?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. City manager's report.
Yeah, I just have a couple things. On October 2nd at 6 p.m. at City Hall here, we're having a public forum to talk about Parks and Rec. I encourage you guys to come to that. We did send out a select list, Dave and I put together to get some of the groups throughout the community, even not only inside Cheboygan, but in the county, to come to give their input on some of the things. Well, what do we need to do? What can we improve on? What programs, what services? So if council could be there, it's a great time to hear. That information will be put together and be part of our Parks and Rec master plan that we're working on. That should be done, I'm guessing in January. So that's an important document because that's what we use to go after DNR money and grants and things like that. So we got to get that done.
Will it be recorded or either of you do? I'm
Um,
guessing.
I wonder why. Okay. We could look at maybe making that a Zillow option for to zoom in on. We could do that. We could, also, we will record it, we'll put it online. So let's remind you of that. One of the things that we've been experiencing lately is larger property owners appealing their property tax. Normally they'll come to the board of review. A lot of times you guys will review it, say, I don't see the justification for their appeal. Well, then they can go from there, they can take it to the tax tribunal. With commercial, you can go right to the tax tribunal and skip the board of review. Okay? Walmart's doing that right now, and they've come back to the city and said, okay, this is what we think our property's worth. It's substantially lower than what we have it. So it causes us issues because Walmart's got unlimited funds to fight us with. We do not have that type of luxury. But when we're fighting, we're not only fighting for the city of Cheboygan, we're fighting for the county. Because if they lower that property, this county loses, library loses, EMS, the Joint Educational Service Center loses. But when we fight them, it's only the city of Cheboygan paying the legal bills or staff time to fight them. So one of the things that Dave Sullivan and myself are going to do is we are going to, because of the county and some of the other taxing authorities, to say, hey, look, you got to step in. And if you get X amount of percentage of this, then you need to, we'll see how it goes. They can tell us, forget it, we're not going to do it. But I think they're starting to realize, because sometimes when it comes to us, for example, fighting Walmart, it's probably going to cost us $20,000 to $30,000 to fight them. Okay, and say if we save $40,000 in taxes over 10-year span, well, it takes us a long time to recoup our money, doesn't it? So in the past, the city has taken a policy. Sometimes they'll just roll over. They'll say, "Okay, all right, we'll take whatever you're going to give us." I don't think that's a good approach, and as a steward of the money for the public, I don't think that's a good option. Now, I've been fighting everything since I've been here. A lot of them have been small battles. Usually, we could come to a compromise that I'm like, okay, this will work. I sent Dave Sullivan around. He's got all the property values for Walmart's, Lowe's, Home Depot, Menards, from pretty much set the UP, and we're looking at the numbers. And then we're going to go back with, okay, this is where we think we should be. I think we may be a little bit. So we're going to go back and hopefully we can get a settlement. If not, then it involves an appraisal. Appraisal is about $10,000 alone that we would have to get done to use in the court case. Because the legal fees at $200 an hour. So right now we're probably at $10,000, $11,000 already that we spent. So I just want to make you aware of this. That then I'm going to be approaching these other entities. Hopefully they'll step up. Other than that, we got to figure something out, because this is a big one, but it's not the only one. Other entities in town have also won this route. So we're going to be going into that process for them. National Cities one, and I can't remember the other one. Oh, PNC. I keep calling it National City, but it's PNC. Okay. So I just want to make you guys aware of that, because again, that's not this battle's not in our budget. So at some point, I'm going to have to come for a budget amendment to deal with this and number off once. Okay. Deer hunting update. So far, we had trials today. People did some tests. It's looking somewhere between a dozen to 2 dozen hunters on probably a number of properties. I've been time to all property owners that I know that had significant size real estate. They've agreed to, some of them, to allow people to hunt there. One of the property owners, we're going to do this for next year, and we're actually going to set up a couple areas so that we can get some disabled hunters, also some senior hunters out to hunt. It's in a remote area in the city where I don't think we have to worry about being in a tree stand. I think they can shoot from the ground with a crossbow and be safe. So we're going to look at doing that. And now we're also trying to get a number of the local butcher shops to join us in the effort. So if we have somebody that wants to shoot deer, they can take the deer there, it can be butchered, and then they'll be able to donate it out. And I think somebody you might have been you at the last meeting. So we are working on that too. It's looking good so far. So hopefully we'll have more information at the next council meeting on that.
Can we add veterans onto that too?
Well, that's what I meant. Yeah, veterans, disabled. The hydro plant at the paper mill, there's been a company in there working on those turbines in the pits there. They've been there for a few weeks now. It's my understanding, I don't know this for sure, that they signed the lease to hopefully put those back into operation to generate electricity and send back to the grid. We've also heard that they may be trying to do what's called Bitcoin mining there. So don't know that for sure, but there was some discussion of that. And I'm going to try to do some more research on that and find out if that's true. Did have a meeting with the state about the paper mill and also some other entities. And right now, there's nothing big going on for the rest of the plant or the warehouse. And we are citing the owners for blight on that, just like we've been doing for a long time. They still have been getting tickets. I talked to you guys about hiring a community development director. We got two good candidates. We're going to try to see if we can get them in next week to interview. It stays open until, I think the position's open until Friday. So if any other ones come in, then we'll interview next week. Mayor put together a group to interview, involves him and another council person, as well as some city staff. I will be in attendance to hear those interviews. The mayor and his group will be conducting those, and they'll provide a recommendation to me on who to hire. Once we get that position filled, we're going to be having a blight task force, and this task force will involve the community development director, our assessor, Alex, who's my executive assistant. We're also going to have somebody from the police department and myself, and then I'm going to give council homework. I would like a list from council people all in your general area where you live, is to come back with your 5 worst properties in the area where you live or area where you work. And then we're going to put that together, and that's what we're going to start with. And I want the ugly ones, and that's what we're going to start with. So, and then that group will meet every week. We'll also have to get our prosecutor involved at some point if we can't get people to comply. But we're also going to look for, there may be people out there that can't comply because of financial resources. So what we're going to start to do is investigate and put together some programs so that maybe we can find grants through whoever, or get Habitat for Humanity involved or other organizations to see if we can help people maybe clean up their properties where maybe they don't have the resources. Some could be easy as the Boy Scouts going there and a dumpster being dropped and everything in the yard picked up and thrown in the dumpster and taken away. And so we're going to look at not only enforcing it, but we kind of got to help those that can't help themselves in a way do it. So it'll be a comprehensive approach. And this has worked in numerous other places, and throughout my career, I've used the same tactic, and it's worked really well. And once people start to know, hey, they're cracking down, then people start to think, I better get to my work.
Sure.
So that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Right, thank you. Quick question. Back to the deer hunt. So I didn't think about this during it. Sean asked a good question about safety. Will we be telling the community who got these permits so when they're out in their backyard, for example, they can be extra vigilant on if there's hunting going on?
Way we're going to place where the hunters are, that the people should probably not even know there's a hunter next door.
Okay.
You know, I mean, if it's 3 acres and there's a house on 2 sides, we're going to have them stuck back in the corner and say, hey, you got to be back.
So
And then another thing is I did hear some people, oh, well, we'll go out with bells, whistles, and stuff. The state of Michigan has a very aggressive law regarding harassing hunters. And it's a pretty steep fine if you get caught doing it. So
okay.
I think that's one of those things that, you know, the police are aware of that. So if we know if there's any issues where the neighbors are conflicting, then we'll have to, you know, pay a visit and say, hey, knock it off. Same thing with, we talked about feeding deer. We're going around now kind of warning people, hey, look, you gotta knock it off.
And they do have 3 acres. They may not even be able to get okay for it.
Right.
If that's from safety.
I think we've got 3 right now that are approved. I know we have a number of applications coming in. It seems like everybody is a little apprehensive of trying to figure it all out. The word getting out there, and now the applications are starting to go out, and so they should be coming in. We may need to do another day of testing. It may have to be a Saturday or something. Either this coming weekend or maybe next week to do that. Season opens October 1st, so.
Okay, thanks. City clerk comments? Nothing. Okay, all right, I'll open public comments. If anyone has public comment, please stand, state your name. You have 3 minutes.
Well, some years ago, I pulled I think a kind of a handler's permit maybe to allow me to sell fireworks inside of the city. I don't know what I do now. I wasn't told one has to jump through. TNT goes $150 million a year. They can afford to pay a little bit more for some fee to operate Cheboygan to maybe help combat some of the costs for law enforcement. If this person lights up a fountain in the backyard that's very loud, the neighbor can't see it, but they can hear it. They call 911. You go over there, and you got to spend your whole side whether this was okay, whether it wasn't, and you could have been fee for it, right? Anybody else? Can we up the fees to these companies that sweep in here? They don't pay anything for insurance. They don't buy insurance here locally. They don't buy anything here locally. They take all the money that they get here, and TNT takes it back to Alabama. Yellow Box takes it back to Detroit. They take all this money and they leave with it, and they pay us a $50. The Cheboygan, they pay them a $50 fee, and then they pay Walmart whatever Walmart wants to lease that property. I don't know if there's room in MCL or in the city's fees to they can help it. For instance, in Gala, they do $120,000 in sales at TNT in one location. Out of the 10, they don't pay city taxes here. They don't pay any of these things. They come in, they take a bunch of money in 2 weeks, and they're gone. So maybe there's room in there to help subsidize some of the cost for law enforcement to impose the new rules. I don't know. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I'll close public comments. Do I have any committee updates?
The DDA met speak Tuesday. We have the giant park that is in downtown, that was put in a couple weeks ago. And in addition to that, there will be 2 more big decorations that are going to be out near Festival Square. There's the pumpkin stack that's coming for like the harvest season, and then there's going to be a polar bear that will be out actually year round. So that one will be kind of like dressed up to be themed, along with the different seasons as they change. We passed last meeting. We passed the video security that went on then to the DDA, and the DDA also passed it. So that system has 2 cameras that are out now that are watching Festival Square. We asked a lot of questions about the quality of the cameras and how well it works. It's the recordings go up into a cloud and they don't delete after 7 days. They stay for forever, essentially. So that's very convenient that we can go back as far as we want. She can search it like red t-shirt, and it'll go through and find everyone who has a red t-shirt, and she can look through that. So it'll be very convenient for Polly if anything ever happens. We can also utilize it to catch some of the road. So if there's ever anything happening on the road, she can catch that, which will be useful. Yeah. And it just seemed like a really nice addition to Festival Square to protect our investment.
Yeah, there was some graffiti at Festival Square, and I think that's kind of what really pushed it along to help it at least. There's a lot of comments on that. Yeah, sure. Do we have any other committee updates? Or do you have anything else?
Yeah, we had two, sure, I lost the word, I'm sorry, everyone.
Facade grants.
Thank you. Two facade grants that came in. One was for the coop. She's getting a nice little mural painted on the side of her building. And also the Moose Lodge building will be being painted. So that one came in from, it was a nice little combined effort between the Moose Lodge, Urban Bird, and Ninja Monkey. So it was a good meeting.
Cool, thank you. Any other?
Parks and Recreation is not meeting until the master plan is through, essentially. But I will say some sad news, you may have heard, Gail Rieger didn't resign. He was in this. And so we're looking for members, at least one member for the Parks and Rec.
Okay.
We did have somebody come in today expressing interest in getting an application beyond that.
Great. Good. Any other committee updates? Nothing. No. All right, meeting is adjourned. Thank you.